Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Alex, and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well wherever you may be. In today's video, I will be installing hood struts for my 2019 Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. And yes, there is a Tacoma underneath all of that white stuff. So I just received the package today, and I'm just gonna go ahead and clear out the snow off my truck, move it into the garage, and I hope you stick around so we can go over the install together. So now that we've cleared out all that white stuff off of the Tacoma, we are now ready to do our install for today. And in today's video, I'll be installing gas struts. And what I have here is a pair of ultimate lifts from Spiker Engineering. And the reason why I went with this brand in particular is for a few reasons. Number one, it has a lot of good reviews. It has a 5-year warranty, and best of all, it's made in the US of A. And for $95 US, I think it's a good buy. But I would like to warn my Canadian friends though that UPS actually charged me an additional $40 US for brokerage and customs fees. I think it's a little bit steep, but it is what it is. I'm pretty adamant I wanted this brand. So hope you stick around, and we'll do the unboxing, and let's go through the install together. So I've gone ahead and unpacked everything out of this tube, and what's in it are the left and right struts, the instructions manual, lower and upper brackets, some rivets, and also a drill bit stopper. And as for tools, we have a drill with a 3/16 of an inch drill bit or a number 10 index, a hammer, a punch, a permanent marker, tape measure, a rivet gun, drills, a wipe, and alcohol. And also we have some poles here to hold up the hood as we do the installs, and we are all set to go. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've owned about 9 or 10 cars or vehicles in my lifetime, but I find the hood for my Tacoma a little heavier compared to everything that I've owned. I always have to put that extra effort to lift up the hood and put the bracket. Maybe it's just me, I don't know about you, but all the more reason that I want to really get this install done, and I'm so excited to get it over with. So stick around. So the first thing that we want to do is put our support pole, and I'll be using the shorter one out of the two that I have. And let's just go ahead and lift this up. Make sure it's secured properly, and the instruction says that it can go up to 8 inches from the base of this hook. Hopefully you can see that. So we're measuring from the bottom here to the notch, and right now it is reading at 7.5 inches. So I'm not going to go all the way to 8 inches. I don't want to push it all the way to the maximum, so I'm going to leave it at 7.5 inches, and we'll proceed from that. Our next step is to remove this side trim right here, and there's a clip that's holding it, and you gotta pry that out. There you go. Set that aside, and basically just push this out. So it's just basically pushing it out as these slots right here slide into these clips. You got 1, 2, and 3 clips right there, and set that aside. Our next step is to mark our drill points, and we need some painter's tape for this, and just put it over that first indentation. Take a permanent marker and mark the center of this indentation. And take your one of the brackets, lower brackets, and line up the middle hole with that mark. Make sure it's centered, and make sure this is flushed against the body of the vehicle. And then mark the the next two holes on top. Next step is we take our center punch. The idea for this one is to create a dimple, so when you start the drilling, the drill bit won't be sliding all over the place. So hold it firmly against that first mark there. Give it one nice punch, and then do the same thing for the other one. And that's it. Then you can go ahead and take out the try not to drop anything, but luckily I'm able to fish this out quickly. So next step is to do the drilling. I also have a couple of magnets right here, and the idea is for it to catch all the metal shavings that we will be generating when we do the drilling. Also, don't forget to use the drill bit stopper that was supplied, and you have to leave a 3/16 of an inch from the end of it to the tip of the drill bit. So let's go ahead and do the drilling. One thing that we need to do here also is, because I'm using a 3/16 of an inch drill bit, I need to make the holes a little bit bigger, as it will not be able to accommodate the rivets that were supplied. If you're using a number 10 index, that would be perfect, but with 3/16 it's a little smaller, so you have to just jig it a little bit, move side to side to make it bigger. So after making the holes a little bit bigger, we'll go ahead and test it. Yep, that fits nice and smooth there, not overly big, but it's just perfect. Our next step now is to apply some touch-up paint, and you can actually pick one of these up from your local dealer. And this is just to avoid getting rusted out in time. So don't be stingy with it. Make sure that you cover it nicely, and try not to miss any open cuts. We're gonna allow this to dry up for a little bit, maybe 15-20 minutes. And while I'm letting that dry up, I'm gonna work on the other side. So now that our paint is dry, our next step is to mount our lower bracket using the rivets that are supplied. So it's pretty simple. The middle hole is not going to be used. Just line it up with the holes that you drilled, left and right over here, and just line it up and take your rivet, drop it in the hole, take your rivet gun, and squeeze. And you can discard this piece. Not gonna lie, but it takes a little bit of an effort to do this. It takes a couple of pumps, or 3 or 4. There you go. Again, discard that. And this is nice and secured right there. So before installing the struts, you need to, I guess, prime it, for lack of a better word. And you'll do that by giving it a couple of presses. Oh, hope you can see what I'm doing here. Do it one more time for good measure. So now we're ready to install the gas strut on the bracket here. So make sure that the thinner part of the rod, which is this part, is what you will be attaching to the lower part. The thicker part, which has the logo, will be staying up. So let's just go ahead and do that. The clip right here, snap it on. Should be pretty simple, and that's that. Once you have it on, I don't think it's coming off, not unless you force it out, but it's on there pretty good. So now we're ready to mount the upper portion of the strut, so we'll go ahead and prep this, clean it up. Take your lower bracket and snap it on. And now we just need to flush it against the hood, and it'll basically find its resting spot. So now that we have an idea where it's going to be, which is right about right here, let's take some painter's tape. Put it there. Grab your marker. And again, just let this rest naturally. Okay, make sure it's nice and firm. And then mark your 2-hole spots. There you go. Take our punch and our hammer, line it up with those marks. Give it a nice punch. Whoops, that one slipped. Make sure to hold it firmly. And then take out the tape. And we're gonna do the touch-up paint. Be generous with it. I'm gonna allow this to dry up. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the other side. So we're almost at the home stretch. The final step here is to now attach this, the upper bracket, using the rivets again. So we'll do the same exact thing. There we go. Oops. And then one more right here. We got this one. So we'll just finish up the other side and we should be golden. The installation is done and I have replaced the trims, and all I want to do now is give you a quick demo of our install. So to open, all you got to do is unlatch it, give it a little nudge, and there you go. Just basically opens itself up. And to close, just pull it down, just let it rest on top of that latch, give it a little push, and there you have it. So as you saw in that demo, both opening and closing is so effortless, and one thing that's a definite plus is you don't need to be slamming that hood anymore, so that's always good. So the up to 8 inches extension that these hood struts provide you, in my case it was 7.5 inches, it gives you a wider opening, so it allows more light to enter into that engine bay when you're working on it. But one thing that you need to be mindful of is if you're thinking of installing additional gears, or in this case would be a ditch light, that's all I can think of, you just need to make sure that you have enough room to be able to open the hood without affecting the a ditch light. So just be mindful of that. As far as the factory hood support rod, I'm just gonna keep it nicely tucked away right here. In the event that our struts fail, we'll have a backup plan. And plus, our warranty for this is 5 years anyway, so I don't expect it to go anytime soon. I'll be doing another review in maybe 6 months and see how well it's performing or not. But make sure you keep an eye on that. So that's pretty much it. I mean, this install took me about an hour and 10 minutes, and that's just because I was doing some video recording as well. But it is a very simple and straightforward install, and to me, this is a definite must-have mod because trust me, it makes life more convenient, and I highly recommend it. So I decided to keep this hood support in its place and just keep it here in the event that the hood struts that I installed would fail in the future. We'll have a backup plan. So that is it. So there you have it, another easy project completed, and I hope that that was useful to you guys. I hope you hit that subscribe and notification bell buttons, and if you have any questions or comments, please put them down on the comment section below. As usual, I'll be putting down all the items used, all the tools and materials used for this project in the description, so I hope you check them out. And until the next project, but until then, if you can be anything, please be kind